Welcome to another episode here on the Alex Doomsday Linus channel. I'm also streaming out to my Facebook friends right now, so shout out to the Boxing Biz Facebook page and Twitter as well. Starting this whole restream, multi-stream, making sure I get my voice out across the airwaves, and I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Obviously, we're doing the post with the most. Maybe I should say the poll that won the community vote. There was a post put out on the community page on YouTube. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. That's where I will be posting community questions, polls, pretty cool stuff that I'll probably be coming up with in the next couple of weeks. So pay attention to the community page because we had a vote, and the vote was pretty simple. There was 3 topics that were chosen, and those were the topics that you guys are supposed to go vote on. First topic was slap as a slap. I can't even believe that's a sport, man, to be honest with you. But slap fighting as a sport and the cannabis growth process. You should have seen me yesterday. I kept saying cannabis. Felt like my man Mike. No disrespect. But Men's Health is the winner. 44% was the total in votes. And the cannabis growth process came in last, 17%. Slap fighting as a sport, 39%. So it's pretty close. Slap fighting as a sport and Men's Health. But glad it was Men's Health. Not that we won't be talking about slap fighting as a sport. As those that went to go vote on the community post, I explained that these episodes were for the next 3 weeks. So I was going to go ahead and cover those topics every Monday at 10 p.m. according to the vote. So the next topic, obviously, for next Monday is going to be slap fighting as a sport. We'll talk about that. And the cannabis growth process. You see, every time I say that, the cannabis, the cannabis growth process will be the third topic for the third week. And that'll be also on Monday at 10 p.m. as well. So now that we got that out the way, how's everybody doing? Appreciate everybody tuning in. Men's Health. It's a big one, right? So I'm going to have to see you eye and eye on this one. You know what I'm saying? Because it is a topic that, we basically, we talk about a lot. We talk about it with our friends, talk about it with our, with our spouses, even with our kids. And, we gotta make sure that we lead by example, right? And at the same time, we gotta make sure that we're taking care of all aspects of men's health, because men's health covers men's health is an umbrella over a lot of things that encompass the overall health of a man, right? Or a woman for that matter, right? So, you got physical health, you have mental health, and emotional. Also, you got to be emotionally healthy, spiritually healthy if you're a believer in whatever you may believe in, right? But sometimes you might have one of these things out of line, out of sync, and you might see that it might affect one or the other. Mental can affect the physical can affect the mental, the emotional can affect probably both. You ever feel really sad? You can feel weak. If you ever been really mad, you can also have a dump after that. So there's certain things that we need to avoid. And we're going to talk about it. The phone lines are going to be open, 1-856-624-3369. You could call landline, Skype, satellite phone, whatever, fax machine, whatever you want. But we're going to cover these topics, man, and we're going to go ahead and share some information. And just want to say salute also to you, Anthony Johnson, who stepped into the building and is tuning in with us. Look. I'm going to start with physical health, right? Physical health, pretty much, it's self-explanatory in its words, right? Physical health. But again, there's a lot of things that encompass physical health, right? What am I talking about here, right? Well, we got food, right? Absolutely. Exercise and sleep. And I know there's a lot more to talk about. And listen, before I start the show, just want to make sure that everybody, especially the people that are tuning in for the first time, they may not know me. Not for 1 second am I claiming to be an expert or a doctor or a nutritionist or any of the sorts. A lot of these things that I'm going to share with you are going to be self-experience and things that I've tried out, and also things that I know that I can back up with some sources, factual sources from some credible people. So that being said, I will, be quoting probably a couple of doctors or websites that you guys can confirm with, but for the most part, it'll be more self-experience, my own personal experience. And I think about, man, I think I'd say about since I was 15 years old, I've been into health, I think that's when I first really started working out and, really getting into, the high school sports and all that stuff. So, a lot of it has been reading a lot in the last, several years, actually, way after high school. I've actually learned a lot more about my own health. And men's health is it's crazy because not one or two are alike. Everybody has their own journey in this health journey, and whatever works for you might not work for the other guy. Some people are lactose intolerant. Others can't eat that much beef. It's just you gotta just adjust to what exactly your lifestyle and what you're not allergic to when it comes to foods of that matter. But let's start with foods, right? Anthony Johnson says, I need to exercise more. I think we all do, brother. We all do. And we're going to get into the part of the exercise. That's going to be the second topic for under physical health. But we'll start with food. Now, food, right? And I'm going to say it like this. Food is very, very important. That's half the battle, if you really think about it, When you're talking about food, you got to be able to understand that, again, what works for you might not work for me, but you got to find exactly what works for you. Now, lifestyle has a lot to do with eating right. A lot of it has to do with preparation and really time. We're all fighting for time nowadays. So you have to be able to do things in a way where they're going to be sustainable to your lifestyle, and you're going to be able to actually be effective in executing this consistently over a long period of time. A lot of the times we try to find quick ways to do things, quick. You got to really plan so you can actually do something sustainably over a long period of time, because that's when you're really going to see the results. That's when you start to really feel better. And again, foods is one very important thing. And I'm going to start it off with, what time should you eat, right? And I'm not talking about shout out to my third shifters. You know what I'm saying? You guys are the overnighters. The graveyard shifters, you guys work a little different, and that's a whole nother episode, because I can guarantee you that just is this crazy disruption of your circadian rhythm, your digestion. It's a whole bunch of stuff that goes with the overnighters. So you think why they get paid more? Yeah, there's a lot of sacrifice in that shift. But for the people that are normal, getting up in the morning, even the second shifters, right, from 3 to 12, you can still go ahead and manage to get up at a certain hour and do things the right way. So you want to be eating as soon as you get up. You don't want to go ahead and drink a cup of coffee right when you get up. You don't want to just dump. The first thing I would recommend for you to do when you get up is get a tall glass of water, room temperature, or from the fridge, the filter. If you got the filter fridge, that's what I got. And I would recommend even quartering a lemon or a lime and adding a quarter lemon to that glass of water, whether it be 8 to 12 ounces. I would recommend 12 ounces if you have that type of glassware or cup that can hold that amount of ounces. I would recommend 12 ounces with a quarter lemon in the morning before anything. And the reason is that is actually what's really waking up your digestive system, and there's nothing better than putting water in your dish. You don't want to start it off with heavy coffee or anything like that. You want just fresh water, lemon, and you, depending on what exactly you like to eat. That's another thing. This is why nutritionists kind of give you a sheet with a whole bunch of check boxes and different types of foods that you might like, just to give you combinations of what you might like. But the most important part of this time in eating what time, I think for me, was the nighttime, right? Because in the morning we have different schedules. Everybody has different schedules in the morning. But if you get up in the morning and you're a person that likes, that wants to eat or needs to eat right away, others intermittent fast. You want to pick good foods that are going to be high in protein. You don't want to just eat just carbs or just one bagel. You want to have a balance in what you're eating, just so you get a little bit of everything. A lot of the times you can get full, but how much nutrition? And the reason I wouldn't recommend just a bagel, slapped with just cream cheese, just that in the morning, is because you got to ask yourself how much nutrient density is in that food. I don't know if there's much nutrition in a bagel, but I mean, it depends, I guess, if you get a multi-grain bagel or whatnot. But you want to have some proteins in there. I mix it up in the morning. If you give me my personal experience, I could get some turkey sausage with some golden potatoes and some eggs. That'll start me off. Maybe a little slices of avocado. And again, if you don't have the time to cook this in the morning, you got to be able to get something going or a certain type of meal that you would like, the ingredients in that meal that you can prepare quick. Because everything's on the go and everything's fast. And remember, we're trying to stay sustainable. But going back to the timing, you definitely don't want to eat 4 hours before you go to sleep. No later than that. You're pushing it. You want to be able to rest properly. And we're all going to talk about sleep, but food and sleep kind of mix in together in this part of the topic, because when you're going to sleep with a full stomach, you're not allowing your digestive system to fully shut down. And it never does fully shut down. But when you eat, let's say an hour before you go to bed, you're still, you're falling asleep, but your digestive system is still working. So technically you're not getting that sound, deep sleep that you should be getting, And you're forcing you're actually putting a lot of pressure on your digestive system. And that's why you get up and you realize you didn't get the proper sleep, because your digestive system is still working. They call your gut your second brain, your stomach. There's actually more bacteria than actual cells in your body. Your body is made up of more bacteria than cells. It's 10-1 on the amount of bacteria that your body is made up of. And shout out to Robert the Genius stepping in. Shout out to Rob the Genius, said Big Doom. Yo, you be killing me with that Kool-Aid avatar chant. Robert the Genius, yo, super chat, man. Once I get to this 1,000, brother, listen, anybody out there here listening, tuning in, just please subscribe, like, share. Make sure you share with anybody that wants to come on and listen and get some good content, whether it be boxing or today's topic. I'm going to be kicking out different types of content. Obviously, I'm going to have a pretty cool schedule going on. So the more consistent I am, the more dependent, and I guess not dependent, but the more you can depend on me, right? Because Doom and John been away for a while. So shout out to y'all for always believing in me. So Manny Beckford says, glad I voted. Let's go chant. Cheer. Yeah. So continuing this time of don't eat 4 hours, or don't eat past 4 hours before you go to bed. It's very important, so you get that good REM sleep, that good sleep. Don't be the guy or the gal to go ahead and fucking eat 1 hour before you sleep, stuff your face, and then try to fall asleep. Then you're wondering why you're waking up, turning, burping, and all that other stuff. So that's very important, and if you really think about it, the gut health, and I'm going to read this and I'm going to quote this from, I think it's WebMD. It says that the gut health controls serotonin production in the body. That's right. 95% of serotonin is produced in the gut. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that functions as a mood stabilizer for the brain. Now, serotonin is very important, all right? That's a mood stabilizer, guys. What are we talking about here? That means you ever ate something and it felt shitty right afterwards? It's like, you feel heavy, you feel bloated. Some of you might get, even heartburn, whatever it is. You know what I mean? You got to take care of yourself. And as far as foods, be honest with you, I'm no dietitian. Again, I mentioned breakfast, what I do, lunch. I try to keep it clean as possible, because what really, really starts to really mess you up is all the refined and all the processed foods. I think that for the most part, if we really, really paid attention to not eating the processed foods and the fried foods and the soda, if we were able to cut out all these things, all the snacks, if we were able to have more control, and even those that were out of control for a whole long time and were needed to be in control and leave it alone for a long time, I think that in itself would be a big, big deal in making a change in anybody's physique and physical health, because those are the foods that really are detrimental. Fried food is really, really bad. French fries, you're better off eating 2 burgers than a burger and a French fry. French fries are horrible. You could do your research on all this stuff. There's tons of information on stuff like this. Manny Beckford says Mickey D's. Holy fuck, bro! Don't even let me get into. I've seen, even now, this is the craziest thing about social media now. On Instagram, I seen this kid post. He had roach eggs in his burger. You got to ask yourself, listen, not every McDonald's is bad. Not every place is disgusting. I'm not saying that, but you just got to say, when am I going to win the lottery? So how often should I really be eating this processed food? It tastes good. There's nothing like a fucking McDonald's fucking cheeseburger, you know what I'm saying, with the pickles. It's fucking slamming, but it's not good for you, But these foods have addictive properties to them, and you just don't know what you're really doing to yourself, because when you don't know, you don't know. You don't know that these things can actually be addictive. They have effects on your dopamine, and the way you interact with foods can really, really mess you up if you're not careful. If you're looking for a dopamine hit every time a cookie, is always that satisfaction, But we all know that, too much of that food can really mess you up. And again, I'm not a dietitian, but you can definitely count on me telling you, drink a lot of water. The government tells you to drink a certain amount. I think it's 8 cups of water a day, or 16 ounces. I don't know what the exact. I don't follow their guideline, but I can tell you things that I've read up, and you can actually just quote Dick Gregory, and you can look him up. He was a comedian. He also ran for president. This guy. You look up Dick Gregory, you're gonna find a fountain of knowledge in his videos and stuff, and. He went on a 40-day fast only in water. This guy's incredible. But what I can tell you, what I learned, and after several other, me reading and studying, because Dumatron be burning his eyelashes reading so much, I can tell you that you drink half your body weight in water. That means if you're 100 pounds, you would drink 50 ounces. If you're 200 pounds, you would drink 100 ounces in water. So you want to drink half your body weight in water, and that would be the actual perfect water displacement in your body. You would always keep that good level of water. And this is according to a whole bunch of studies that you can go ahead, and if you want to look up, Dick Gregory is the guy. So drinking water is very important. Eating, again, stay away from all the processed foods. And another thing is that, listen, guys, when you go to the grocery store, supermarket, whatever, you're picking up these products, and when you look at the back of the product, you're looking at a whole bunch of terminology that is in its chemistry form, right? So you don't know what red 9 is. You don't know what yellow 10 is. You don't know what all these other, sulfur nitrates, and you just don't know. So you're looking at this, and the actual terminology is so overwhelming. You're not dwelling on that. You're not dwelling on that. But I promise you, if you sit there and you Google this stuff, if you actually look at the back of your nutritional facts and you look at whoever actually is displaying, because sometimes they'll ask you to call to actually be able to get more information on the ingredients, sit there and Google every last ingredient that you see on whatever your favorite snack or whatever it may be. And you're going to see that a lot of the shit ain't good for you. But what is it? As long as they put it on there and you still buy it, they're not responsible. And that's the fucking grand scheme of things. That's the dark side of this consumership, right? Because all that stuff is knowingly bad for you, but it's your choice. So remember, next time you're picking up, whatever snack, fried food, just think about this. Listen, for the most part, the FDA approves all this stuff. Your body's able to expend or get rid of these toxins that you put in. But what happens to the people that are not exercising, that are not living a healthy life, that are overweight, that are, weak immune systems? What happens to them? What happens to them? They're just trying to get a chip. They're just trying to get a chocolate. They're just trying to, they're just trying to relax. But they're just so caught up with whatever they've already compounding and to lead up to that unhealthy life, that other things start to appear, and then you start to get the really bad stuff: arthritis, cancers. All you just get all these things that you're very unhealthy. You get very unhealthy. So yeah, that's it. Manny Beckford says, hard to cut processed food, so I eat veg fruit with every meal. Plus also moringa powder, super nutritious. All right, champ. See, a lot of people don't know about the moringa powder. Very powerful nutrient. I think they have the tea too. I think I've drank the tea a couple of times. Damn, my man Rupsky, 1978 in the building. Hit him with it. Appreciate you for coming on. And we're talking health today. I figured I'd talk about a little bit about everything under men's health. Shout out to the community who voted on this topic to be the one to talk about. So I'll just move into exercise, right? We can go on and on about foods. There's just so much things. Honestly, before I even go into exercise, I'll leave it at this. I've tried almost every diet. Atkins, paleo. I was a vegetarian for a year. I've tried everything. Fruitarian. Oh my God. I tried fruitarian. It's crazy. I tried everything. So I could tell you now that you just got to have a well-balanced diet. All right. The thing that you have to watch out for the most, remember, it's the processed foods, the fried foods, anything that's crazy. Watch out for sugars. The sugars are, oh my God, the sugars. I am weak with the sugars. All right, people. I'm terrible. And, sugar is 50 times more addictive than cocaine. It can be very hard to kick a sugar addiction, and it's tough. I'm not saying that everything we're going to cover today, you probably haven't heard of. Some things might be new, but what I'm saying is that it's not that I'm saying it's 1, 2, 3 easy, but any of these things that you could possibly cut out, if you could at least cut out half or a quarter of these things, you just, whatever amount that's significant, you'll actually see some results in your health, because the food part is just half of it. Now let's get into the exercise part. Shout out to Barbie. Everything. Yeah, that's right. So if you move over to exercise, exercise is important, very, very important. And you should be getting as often as you can, exercise. A lot of people think, and I for a long time also thought that I had to be in the gym every day, all day for a long time. And when I was training boxing, that was a thing. But when you're training boxing, you're also training a lot of technique. You're putting a lot of hours into technique. It's not just training physically. But now that, I'm not competing, and I'm just, and I train because I like to train boxing, but it's not something that I have to do for technique on hours. Now I do it for some cardio. So being that said, you have to be able to combine a little bit of cardio with strength training and weightlifting, and just keep an even keel with everything you do. The reason I combine 3 is because the more variety I'm putting into my exercises and what I do, the better results I get, and the more I got my body and my brain thinking on, not really plateauing on anything that I keep for too longer than 2 weeks. So I'm always trying to change it up, but I try to get weights now more than ever. And when I was boxing, I wasn't doing as much weights. I'm not a weightlifter now, but I can honestly tell you that after listening to the Action Junkies podcast, shout out to Jonathan Orlando in Vegas and the Sticky Paws crew, I definitely learned that you don't have to do tons of cardio, to actually burn fat and lose weight. You can actually just lift weights. And really, I've added weight training to my weekly workouts because you got to build muscle. Muscle gives you longevity of life as you get older. You want to be able to have strong muscles. Sarcasm says fats, sugars, and sodium, the three killers. Yeah, sarcasm. I didn't talk about salts, but definitely salts too. And for those that are high blood pressure, that's not good for you. But salt is also another one. Killer. A lot of people love salt too. Wow. Exercise. So continuing with exercise. Times to work out. Listen, again, that all goes with schedule. We're living in a time where everything is scheduled. So you have to try to apply this to whatever schedule you have, If you're somebody that has the time to work out in the morning, you do it in the morning. I mean, if you're the person that likes to work out at 5, 6 in the morning before they go to work, depending on what time you go to work, if you're a person that goes to work at 8 in the morning, maybe getting up at 6 ain't so bad, or 7 ain't so bad, depending on what your schedule is. So I say all that to say this, like if you're a morning person, work out. What I recommend is that if you're going to go ahead and work out in the morning, I would rather do my cardio in the morning. I don't want to do no heavy weight training in the morning and working out. That's just personally for me. I don't know how you guys might feel about that. There's some people that can get in there in Iron Paradise, like my man The Rock says, and really get it in, I like to do some cardio. The reason is that, I like to do a fasted cardio. So if I get up early in the morning and I'm actually down there at 6:30, 7 in the morning, I'm going to be able to get in there, do 30 minutes of cardio, whether it be, boxing on the treadmill, and I'll post later on what that looks like. And, or if not, I'll do some jump rope. And if I really want to do some quick strength training, I'll do some pull-ups, push-ups, and air squats. And, something that's light and it'll burn, because when you're on the fast, so the scientists speak, they say that you lose 400% more calories when you're on a fast. So that's why I try to take advantage of that. I mean, listen, if I'm burning 400% more calories, that's like 2-3 extra days. I don't even know how that looks, but I'm burning more with less effort. So I do that. And obviously I drink, my lemon water, and I got my water down there while I'm working out. And again, that's if you're that type of person. If you're the nighttime person, hey, listen, you go to the gym. Some people have the access to a gym 24 hours. If you just like to get down there right before you go to sleep, you go ahead and do that too. Exercises during the afternoon. If somebody that works from home or are able to just have access to a gym during lunchtime or whatever it may be, that's excellent too. I personally like that because you can actually have a nice, good lunch that could support maybe some good weight training, some heavy weight training, and that's how I would split out my day personally. But again, this is just all according to whatever lifestyle, whatever you like, or whatever your body really responds to. Let me get some agua right now. This lemon water's turned me away from soda. You guys gotta understand, ain't nothing better than when you go, whether you're a Pepsi guy or Coca-Cola, I don't know. I even tried bottled water, what is it, Perrier, and just sparkling water. It works, but the lemon water, forget about it. Lemon water is awesome. So again, going back to the working out. What did I say? Times to work out. Yeah, so nighttime, afternoon time, it all goes with according. I do cardio in the morning, some weight training in the afternoon, or strength training. Again, you want to at least, they say 150 minutes a week. I mean, look, I don't know how that splits up for you guys. You're talking about, like 3 hours, is it? Yeah, about a little less than 3 hours, about 2.5 hours a week of exercise. I mean, you really think about it. You do 30 minutes, 15 minutes here, there. I mean, that's pretty much not a lot, for your overall health. It's not bad at all. Manny Beckford says 3:30 UK time. I've clicked notifications. Keep it up, champ. Big respect, bro. Man, shout out to you, champ. Appreciate you. You know, we're gonna put you up right now because you the champy. You the champy. You in UK doing your thing. You the man. Appreciate you. Um. All right. Shout out to Barbie. Yeah. So guys, listen. I'll move on. How often? Well, that's where we're at, right? 150 minutes, 3 times a week. You figure 3 times a week, you're in the gym, 30 minutes, that gives you 90 minutes, right? So I'm saying if you're in the gym every day, 30 minutes, you can do that. You know, you can go to the gym, maybe do a double, do a cardio in the morning, strength and weight training in the afternoon. Listen, depending on what your schedule is, listen, I know, guys, it's tough, you know? You got kids, you know, you got a lot of things going on. You got commitments to make. You got to just try to find time because remember, if you're not okay, the rest of the fam or the team is not okay. You got to make sure you're all right. A lot of the times, uh, head of households, fellas, you got to give yourself a break. I'm not saying take off. I'm saying like give yourself a break to like really take care of you and be able to be in a place where you feel physically fit, where you feel strong. It's important to feel this way. You don't got to be a power lifter. You don't got to be the guy that knows 101 ways to hit burpees or anything like that. But you want to be the person that feels strong enough where you can do what is functional, to you. You could squat, you can pick up a box, you can, you could climb the basement stairs without, fearing of falling. And, you could, there's so much that can go along with, making sure that you're in a good physical standing. JD Blanca, cheer. Salute to you. Listen, we're talking men's health. It was the community poll winner. And we're just getting into how often you should work out. So 150 minutes for you men. That's about 2.5 hours, something like that. So make sure you're getting it. All right. There is time in the day. Listen, if you're a truck driver, get out that truck whenever you can, and whenever you do, when they're putting that load in the back, get out, do some squats. Make sure you're giving yourself an opportunity to make sure that you're in a physical standing where you can at least operate and have functional mobility. Robert the Genius on the chat says the past 30 days, in order to sleep better, I've stopped looking at any screen at least 30 minutes before bedtime. Also, I cut out drinking big time. I haven't even had a drink in the past 10 days. Okay, salute everybody. Salute to Robert. These are little building blocks that eventually become a big part of your overall health. Very important to get the right sleep. And, shout out to the Humor podcast that is one of the doctors, neuroscientist, I think, or a neurobiologist. And don't quote me on that. But I believe that he said that, you don't want to be looking at screens at least 30 minutes. You don't want that type of activation. You don't want any bright lights in your eye that disrupt chemicals that have control on your REM and your sleep. So you don't want to be looking at bright screens. I think if you look at red, it prepares the mind for sleep. So look into that if you're one of those guys that really. I got lights in my house. You walk into my fucking kitchen and living room, you think you're in a fucking lounge. LEDs everywhere, but I like to have that ambience here at the crib. But before you go to sleep, I think it's red that kind of soothes you down, prepares you to go to sleep. But you don't want to be looking at anything bright, any bright lights. Another thing you want to do, you don't want to get up in the morning and immediately look at your phone. You don't want to get into the social media. No, you don't want to train your brain that way. Social media, and I don't want to just say social media, but just the overall technology and just using technology and being so intertwined with technology has given us a cyborg sort of life where we're just so connected to it, but we have to be able to disconnect at the right times and connect in the right time. Just like Neo in the Matrix, you got to know when to plug in and when to plug out. And I'll get more into those type of conversations on another edition of the Doomatron, right? Robert the Genius says, love these men's health episodes. Keep doing these. Most definitely, Robert. Listen, we need to take care of each other. We need to talk about these things. And here on this channel, I would like for us to share information and, hold each other accountable, and be able to kind of push each other into good health. A lot of the times we try to do it alone, and we're headstrong and we do things alone, but every now and then it's good to have somebody hold you accountable, a friend, kind of joke on you, mess around with you, but knows that they mean well. And this platform is indeed going to be used for that. So they are going to keep coming, brother, for sure. So how often? 150 minutes. What kind of exercises? We talked about that. A little cardio, a little strength training. Robert the Genius, he loves to box now. Boxing has been a big way for him to stay in shape and improve his overall health. And I'm pretty sure that he would agree that it's helped him mentally, because moving on to the next topic, which is mental health. And again, we're talking men's health, but I wanted to encompass, as much as I could under that umbrella. So men's health, we talked physical health. We're going to go into mental health, right? How important is it to be mentally sound? Fellas, let me tell you. It's almost as if I have to throw that in there, and I'm going to have another one, obviously, because we're going to get into belief and spiritual, emotional, stability. That's important too. We can get into many subtopics, but mental health, what do I mean? Mental health. You have to be mentally in a mental place where you're not in this debt of stress. You know what I'm saying? That you're not engulfed in this daily stress. I mean, stress is so bad for you. It's even been linked to cancer. I mean, it's so bad to be stressed out. And what are the causes of stress? Come on, man. And I really want to see the chat get active on this one. And again, we're going to be opening up the phone lines, 1-856-624-3369. And we'll be talking about it some more with some of the people that will be calling in, see if they got any testimonials on what they've done, of maybe some of the struggles they faced. And we'll be talking a little bit more on the airways. But home environment, right? I think that the stress, you got to have a place of Zen. And for every man, that is his home. You have to have Zen in your house. Listen, guys, if you're at war in your house in any way, it is your duty and it behooves you to try to make that not be. You want it to be tranquil. You want it to be Zen. Your house has to be relaxed. We go out into this world. You're driving to work. God knows if you're going through traffic, if you're this guy, right? Because there's plenty of us. There's different version of us guys. But if you're the guy that gets up in the morning, drives to work, is in traffic, then he has to, put up with the boss. Maybe the boss isn't so good. I mean, listen, maybe your boss is a fucking hell of a guy. But if you're this guy that has to deal with all this other stuff, right? Drive back to home, you got to go through some more traffic. Maybe whatever. Somebody try to run you off the road. You get home finally, and then your place of Zen becomes another war zone, whether it be with your kids, whether it be with your spouse, your other half, whether it just be with yourself. Maybe your fucking place is just disorganized and just there's no good energy. You know what I'm saying? So your home environment needs to be your place of Zen. I think it's very important for us to have peace at home, and not just with your spouse, but with yourself, making sure that, everything that you need is there, to make you as comfortable as possible. And I'm not saying go buy the 5,000 Lazy Boy, guys. Relax. All right. I'm not saying that. I mean, we all deserve a Lazy Boy. Don't get it twisted. But what I'm saying is to just make sure that at the very least, you're at peace with your family. All right. Very important to be at peace with your family, because they are initially your support group. And I know there's always special situations. But for the most part, that's your support group. That is the core group. And I would recommend that, you make sure that everything's okay at home so that you always have that support, that zen, that go away, that place of peace. What else is mental health, right? That affects your mental health. Obviously, some of the things that I said, like, being at work, overstressed, and all these other things, all these things affect the mental health. So you got to be able to balance work as well. You got to be able to balance that stress, and different positions for different people in the working environment, whether it be you're, just a regular Joe that shows up, punches out, whether you're a supervisor that has to, oversee a lot of people, whether you be the CEO that owns a company that has to make sure that this contract gets done up. If not, nobody works. There's different levels of stress. So you got to be able to manage stress the right way and not overthink yourself to death, because sometimes we like to overthink things in a sense that we're thinking about, so many days and weeks ahead sometimes that, you're killing it. Just think about what you have to do today and tomorrow. Don't think about too much into the future. If you have to, of course, there's different situations where if you're depending on a job you have to think like that. But what I mean is that don't go crazy. At the end of the day, what matters is what you do today, and make sure you do it right. All right. Let me get another glass of water because I'm starting to get raspy, y'all. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in too, man. I know I'm streaming across the airways right now on Twitter, Facebook. So shout out to everybody joining me on the other platforms. I'll be shooting off to LinkedIn pretty soon. Shout out to my LinkedIn crew, man. My bad I didn't touch space with y'all on this one. Now, what else? All right, listen. We all know we live in an age of content consumption up the wazoo. We're talking about everybody's consuming content. Everybody's consuming content, and there is a lot of content out there to consume. So I had to include that into mental health because I think that's very important, especially now. What you're looking at, what you're viewing, and what you're spending your time on consuming. Because remember, whatever is going in through these is what's staying in here, and you're loading up your hardware with some crazy malware out there. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that your content that you're consuming. And look, we love entertainment. There's a lot of entertainment out there, but you can't give up so many hours of your life on consumption. All right. If you're a content creator, okay. But if you're consuming, and I mean irresponsibly consuming, I'm not talking about the guy that listens to 4 podcasts while he's, doing his shift. I'm not talking about that, man. I'm talking about when consuming content starts to take precedence over all the other things in your life that should be more important. So you got to be careful with that, because when that imbalance starts to play in, your mind is just not right. If you're constantly consuming this stuff, I mean, you're dealing with so much social arrow. You just get hit with so much on social media, and depending on what you're consuming, it can have an effect on you. So make sure that you, put it down every once in a while, take a breath of fresh air, get out there, get some sun. I can't tell you enough how much you should be out there and getting some sun. Don't quote me on how much it's appropriate, but maybe like an hour or a half hour, you should just be out there in the sun. A half hour, just be out there in the sun. And, I hope I'm not lagging too much, y'all, because I know that I'm probably using a lot of bandwidth right now, hitting all the 3 platforms. But, just to keep on going with the content consumption, just make sure that you're moderately paying attention to what you consume and how much you consume and what you're really putting your time into. There's a lot of time for you to be able to become a better version of yourself, and you can't do that if you're content consuming all day. All right. And you have different types of content consuming. Obviously, if you're consuming content that's something that's going to help you and you need or whatever, there's just different scenarios. What you're responsible content consuming. If you're just looking at fucking a fucking panda hitting flips. I mean, come on. What are you gonna do? You gonna go hit panda flips? Just consume responsibly, and because it will affect. And you just even the TV, everything you consume, it affects you. Again, we covered food, and that's just another way that affects you. So consuming with your eyes, yes, that can be bad for you too. And shit, man. I guess mental health. We can go on to so many other things. I don't know if somebody. Let's see. Sarcasm actually said something on the chat. He says mental health. Seek counseling when necessary. Nowadays, you can find certified therapists at an affordable rate, even online. It is true. Hey, Sarcasm. Shout out to you for actually putting that out there too, because something that I forgot to mention before I went on over to the third topic is you really need to understand that depression is real. And all my guys out there, man, listen, bro, you're not the only one. Depression is real. And what is depression? It's hard for you to sometimes explain that to others because they just won't understand. And you can't even explain it yourself. Just know that, there's always a way to make things better. Don't ever put yourself in that position to, seek counseling. If you don't have counseling, open up to somebody. If you feel like you're really breaking, man, just open up to somebody. And, it's better to let it out than to keep all that in and then, just blow up and, really can be a catastrophe in one's life. Bernie, my man Bernie G40 says, shout out Doomy, good to see you back on YouTube. Shout out to you 40, man. Yeah, man, I'll be back definitely on more consistently. I'm back, pivoted, but I'm doing my thing, man. Just make sure you stay tuned, subscribe, hit the notification bell, my brother, and we'll be having more episodes like this. These are the Monday episodes, 10 p.m. I'll be dishing these out every Monday at 10 p.m. We had a poll on the community page, and this is the episode that won for the first week. So men's health is the first topic of that poll. We'll be following up with slap fighting as a sport and the cannabis growth process. Shit, man, Bernie 40, man, depression is a motherfucker, bro. It's a motherfucker, and it can happen to anybody. I don't care if you're a billionaire, millionaire, thousandaire, poorinaire. It can hit us all, and you just don't know what it is. And this all goes again, guys, with so many effects of so many things and outside sources. I mean, what you consume with your eyes, with your mouth. The foods have a very big impact on our moods. As you can say, serotonin is a neurotransmitter that functions as a mood stabilizer for the brain. So you can only imagine eating shitty and not working out and feeling shitty, and then on top of it, the stress, and on top of it, you're catching up with bills, and on top of it, it just and you get overwhelmed. And then you sometimes literally shut down, and you start to shut down. And that's where you have your situations when men just pop up with cancers, or, something happened and they had a heart attack. It's really, really bad. Men's health, we need to be more aware. We need to be more aware, and we need to realize that we really have to be careful out there and what we eat. We have to make sure that we get the proper exercise. We have to make sure we're doing the proper things and looking and viewing the proper things in order for us to stay at the very least, at a medium baseline, of health. Because I tell you, you get attacked all ways. Now, I'll just move into the spiritual. Now, listen, for those that, are non-believers, whatever, I'll just categorize as an emotional stability, I guess. You got to be emotionally stable. My man Joseph Supermax in the building. Shout out to Supermax. Shout out to the Texas boys. You already know we got to do another one. I heard Super got the ill-ass fadeaway shot now, but he don't even know I'm going to stuff that. You getting stuffed, champy. I'm going to move into the spiritual. Listen, you got to have some faith, right? You got to believe. You got to love, man. Shit, man. If it's the yin and yang, you got hate and love, love always conquers, man. You got to love, man. You gotta love. You gotta have faith. You gotta believe. You gotta see the glass half full instead of half empty. You can't be glum about life all the time. You know, you got to pick yourself up, because the more glum you are with yourself, the more negative you are towards yourself, the more you start to create a fortress in your mind around that idea. And it becomes very hard to kick out. If you do this for years and years, it can become very hard to change that, you know? And you got to be you got to be your own cheerleader. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure that at the very least you're your own cheerleader, that you're believing in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, I mean, who's gonna believe in you? You know, you got to make the others believers. I mean, they didn't even believe Jesus. You know, what makes you different? So yeah, I think that for me at least is a very huge thing. I mean, when the body fails, the spirit impulses you. You know what I'm saying? It keeps you going, and it's always been like that for me. Whether it was working out, whether it's going out for a tough 10-mile run, and I'm kicking at the end. You know, I'm spiritually in that zone. You know, where I believe and I know that there's a higher power that has my interests at heart, my best interests. So it's helped me a lot to be spiritually healthy, you know, and always keep that connection. But I can also say the same thing about being emotionally. Make sure that you're emotionally in a good place. You know, a lot of people don't, men especially, you know, are from the old days taught not to talk about the feelings. I'm not saying that you got to talk about your feelings in a sense now. You know, don't be nobody wants to talk about the feelings to cry about it, you know, in front of but sometimes you just want to talk to somebody about it. You know what I'm saying? It's not being a you know, in a sense, a bitch or a punk or whatever you want to call it. You know, you just want to talk. A guy just needs to talk to somebody. So make sure you got that other person to talk to, that, you know, you can talk about these things. Because, you know, a lot of the times, and also a lot of the times we don't like to speak our minds. You hold a lot of things in, man. Listen, let me tell you something. Communication is key. Make sure that you're communicating. You know, it's going to help you spiritually too. You got to be able to communicate. And believe me, it'll help you. Let me go back to the chat. I know that we got a few on the chatty. And again, I'm going to open up the phone lines right now. Matter of fact, 1-856-624-3369. Anybody want to call in and speak a little bit about what we talked about? If you have any tips, maybe you got some tips. Maybe you have some ideas of what you've done, or maybe some information that maybe may help another that's listening in. Call in 1-856-624-3369. Talked about men's health, physical health, mental health, spiritual, emotional, making sure that we are aware of these things from our day to day. Listen, it's 24 hours in the day, 8 hours of sleeping, 8 hours of working, and you got 8 hours to yourself at that, and you're back in bed. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that you're getting organized, very organized according to your lifestyle, so that you're able to at least touch on at least half of these things for yourself, you know, because a lot of the times we barely touch 10% of these things that we should be doing in our lives. And it's just all for the overall health, so that you have longevity of life, and that you're not tweaking and creaking at 60 and, you know, barely able to get around. You want to be able to get around. I know I do. And I'm going to keep trying my best every day to reset, because I speak from a seat not of perfection, because I am far from it. But I can honestly say that I do try my best every day to do the right thing. So if for you that means not eating that fried chicken on Mondays like you always do, then do that. If it means cutting out the soda pop that you drink twice a day, then cut it out. You know, whatever's works for you and whatever you feel you can do. And in time, I can assure you that with consistency and longevity, you will be able to feel better and operate better. So shout out to Tycho TV. The Doomatron is activated. Again, we was covering this episode. Anybody that wants to call in, remember, it's 1-856-624-66. Oh, snap. We got our first caller right now, actually. Let's go ahead and plug him in. Let's see who's calling. All right. All right, we got our first caller of the night. We're talking men's health. Who is it? What is it? What's going on?
What's going on, champ?
What up,
Kenny
champion?
Taxes.
Who's this?
Kenny Taxes just calling.
Oh, shit, it's Kenny Taxes. Listen, everybody, if you guys don't know, if you don't know, now you know. You should have known. The Dumatron has actually partnered up in a tax partnership with the best company in the game, the fastest growing. And, Kenny Taxes is one of the, actually my tax support, when I, going gets tough, I call Kenny and he gives me the answer. So Kenny, man, from Truthful Taxes, welcome to the airwaves. What's up, brother?
Just calling real quick to let you know that I'm watching. Keep doing your thing. We're learning. We're sharing information. And that's it.
Shit,
Keep doing your thing, and I'm here.
I appreciate you tapping in. I appreciate you tapping in, champ. And again, man, make sure you head on over to truthfultaxes.com if you need a tax preparer. The best in the business, great company, great set of people. And Kenny Taxes, man, listen, we love that you called in and hope that you call again.
Definitely.
Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ.
All right, peace out. All right, man. That was Kenny Taxes, man. Shout out to Truthful Taxes, man. The whole gang, bro. They've been nothing but fucking brothers to me. Appreciate y'all. And so men's health lines are open. 1-856-624-3369. We've been talking men's health. So, it's quite an umbrella to cover. There's so much that goes into men's health, but we covered a few topics. We've been on here an hour. We're going to go ahead and probably close it up. We're going to go ahead and wait to the 60 mark on the hour and see if anybody else calls in. 1-856-624-6666. As a matter of fact, who is that? That's Robert the Genius. Okay, he says Alex Doomsday Line shot me out. Robert the Genius. Okay, yeah, for sure, man. Robert the Genius, if you guys don't know, has been competing in sub-amateur boxing matches, and he's actually been very successful in acquiring a nice record and actually be known as a fucking tough mofo, a guy that goes and gets it. So he'll be actually taking on Jordan Baker. That's Robert the Genius versus Jordan Baker on February 25th, Las Vegas. So shout out to Robert. He's one of the Jersey boys, so I gotta shout him out. Shout out to him. And it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. So I wish you the best, man. Make sure you stay injured free. And may the best man win. Again, we got the phone lines open. I think I had the actual, matter of fact, let me just pin it again. Make sure that it's up there. I think it's up there. Matter of fact, it is up there. So the number is 1-856-624-3369. Talking men's health. Oh, shit. Eric Cruz in the building. The one and only Texas boys. I'm telling you, they popping up. Eric, what's up, brother? He said, Rob the Duck. Rob, what's going on? Uh-oh. Somebody's calling you a quack, champ. I don't know. I don't know if you want Eric Cruz to come up off the stool, bro. He's coming back with a vengeance. All right, guys, listen, this was men's health. Definitely a good topic. And again, there was just so much to cover in men's health. I hope I give you at least an inkling of a couple of gems in there that you could use. Obviously, personal experience for the most part. And I think we generally covered what we should be doing. But again, all this stuff, make sure you apply it to you and your schedule and how you're living, and try to make it as sustainable and consistent as possible. So again, thank you for tuning in. This is the Alex Doomsday Linus channel, and we were talking men's health. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. Thanks, Kenny Taxes, for calling in. Shout out to Truthful Taxes, the best tax company in the game. And man, we're gonna go ahead and head out of here. Shout out to Barbie, aka my secret producer. Love all the support. Rob the G. Oh, Eric says, wait, before I go, I'll read this one. Eric Cruz says, just messing with you, Rob. You're a genius for not stepping in the ring with me. Yeah, you guys are clowning. Robert the G's, Eric, drop the weight like I did, and we'll meet at 168. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on? Wait, I got Oscar. 180 SX has just stepped in. Let's hear that chant one more time. Cheer! Yo, from the originator. That's right. Listen, champies, we covered men's health. If you guys are just tuning in, hit the playback on it, share the video. Remember, I'm trying to get to that stack already. I took off for a little bit. Obviously, you guys know what's up. Had to pivot or whatnot, but I'm back. So make sure you share the program. I'll be back on every Monday at 10 p.m. Definitely be covering the fights on Fridays and Saturdays, weigh-ins or whatnot. I'll be definitely coming in with some boxing content, obviously, because that is my sport, and I will continue to talk my ish on it. So I'll be back with some of that. So just stay on the community page because I'll be posting stuff there. I'll be hitting you guys with some polls because I really want to get you guys involved in what I'm doing. Let's take it to 1,000. And Robert, you mentioned the super chat, champ. I can't get that until we get to 1,000 at the minimum. So I appreciate you though for showing some love. Yeah, man, for sure. I'm going to check. We could do that in Texas. Eric Cruz, I'm going to try to tune in on next time, brother. Hey, Eric, I appreciate you for tuning in. Anyway, man, we're out of here. We hit the hour mark. Phone lines were open. They'll continue to be open. So stay tuned. I think I'm out of here. That's right. Adios, amigos. Cheers.